Said if you can't win, wreck someone who can. And
Exactly.
I knew I wasn't winning that.
Why do people not get out of the fast lane?
Every time I see that picture of you riding around with that big ass fro you're wearing, I still get pissed.
It was that night I said preparate, but I didn't say what I wasn't supposed to say, and that's A1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk 447. I'm fired up. And, my name is Jeff Emig, and I'm joined by a rider that some people call the greatest of all time. I like to call him my friend, Ricky Carmichael. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back from the Dallas Metroplex area.
Yeah, for just a short time, and I'm contemplating my decisions and why I came home for a day and a half. And it started with a almost 2-hour delay of getting home. Didn't get home until 3. Was supposed to be home at like 1:30. I had some things for the people that are listening and watching. Yeah, I sold my house and I've moved into a new house. Well, I haven't moved into a new house. I'm in a rental at the moment till Supercross season is over, and we're doing some things to our new home. But just trying to line things up. And anyhow, no, I'm not going to bore you guys with that. But
so I fly with American. I'm like more than 4 or 5 million miles, whatever. He's a Delta flyer. Every time Ricky and JH fly American, I swear, every time it's, we're delayed. We're stuck here. We're stuck there. You have the worst time with it. That sucks.
It does. Well, honestly, it's been really good the last several times that I've flown American. So on an average, they're still batting over 500. So that's good.
All right. So before we get to it, obviously we need to mention Fox Racing and foxracing.com. There is so much rad stuff on there right now. So if you're looking for apparel, safety gear, whatnot, V3 helmet and Instinct boots, Ricky, I told you I was coming at you with some photos, right? What'd you think of my 3 kits? I photographed 3 kits.
I am really amped on the kits, and they look good. The colorways and just the designs, I really like it. And you can tell the difference.
Yeah,
like a new way. So it's cool.
Well,
I liked it.
I was so amped on that. I don't know. Cianciarulo wore it early, like maybe the second round of Supercross, and it's the Mauler LE. So if you like it, you got to go try to find it at your dealer because we are sold out. We've got the apparel and stuff at Fox Racing, but so I like the helmet design and the boot colorway and stuff was just sick, right? And so I'm like, okay, what am I going to pair this with the shift kit? And so what I ended up doing is those things. There's a lot of color pop, but there's also some black on it. So I went a murdered out black Fox View goggle, shift recon gloves that were just all blacked out. There's not even like a logo on it. And then we've got our shift. It's called Deadeye, and it's just like black on black. So black on black with these color pops. So I think we can have our editor throw some photos up here right now. So
you got anything else in the pipeline? You got some more pictures you're going to flood us with that we can see, or what?
Yeah, dude. I'm heading out to Glen Helen here when we get done with this.
Hey, one thing I did like, and everyone needs to go get it. I think it looks awesome. You did a great job. The blackout. The new blackout Emig lock-on edition.
Well, it's not new. It's just I just recirculated some of the marketing on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the marketing looked good. How about that? So go get your blackout the Emig lock-on grip. It's awesome. I love them. It's the best grip in the business.
Thanks, Ricky. Hey, so we've had 2 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross in Arlington. Dirt looked amazing. I really love when the track gets like crappy. For those of you, we'll show you behind the curtain a little bit, but during the commercial breaks, I'm always texting Ricky. And so at that first round, I text him during the 250 heats and I'm like, dude, the track sucks. It was way too fast. It was way too easy.
You were so negative, dude. Like right out of the gate, dude. It's like, don't come at me with negative stuff.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm a keyboard warrior now, dude. I'm on the couch watching and I can say whatever I want. Okay?
I know. I appreciate it. Hey.
But it raced really well. And that's what I love about when we have the type of soil that we do in Dallas is the track breaks down. And so, maybe heat 1 in the 250 heat, these guys are just perfect laps. But
when you were being negative, you mean?
That time. And then a couple of Mick Ultras kicked in and I smoothed out.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the 450 mains, the track, the tracks get really difficult, and that's, separates the men from the boys. So what's out of these two races, what's the one thing that has stuck out to you?
Well, man, you put me on the spot.
Straight away.
I
Dude,
think
let's
I
go.
think not a whole lot of, well, actually, it's twofold. Let's talk 250 first.
Okay.
The inconsistency of number one, Justin Cooper. He's always the fastest guy, but it just seems like he hasn't been able to execute in the main the last 3 weeks.
Was the thing this last race, I think it was around 11, where he clipped somebody in the little short shoot after the whoops. Was that him, or did somebody come off the wall?
I think it blows cut was
Like
coming
popped
out
off the wall?
I think it was blows.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I have to go back and watch the tape. So that's one of the, like the 250, and then McAdoo going down. He had been in a position. Well, he's in this position where
He's been ripping
did it in Daytona from behind, but just some uncharacteristic mistakes from this season from McAdoo. So that caught me off guard. I've been watching the 41 of Hunter Lawrence. You could see the trajectory that he has had. So you just knew something special was going to come, and he was going to be contending for a win. The stars aligned right. I shouldn't even say that. I'm going to retract what I just said. I'm giving him credit, dude. He put himself up front. It was a marvelous ride that he did. Spectacular. Great to see that.
Three new winners in 3 races. And for McAdoo, it's a different thing because all of a sudden he was in the points race. Yep. And you see how that starts to affect you. You ride differently when you have everything to lose. As far as the 250 goes, I mean, Hunter's ride was just picture perfect. And like you said, I agree. Like, he's getting better and better each time. But Seth Hamaker's ride, I mean, he grew up. How long did he spend down at the goat farm? Like, I remember when he was just a Team Green amateur kid.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time because he got hurt. He hurt himself. But he's just a great kid. Comes from a great family. Kind of under the radar, but incredible ride. But he's been fast all season long. I was blown away at what he showed us in Orlando. I know his box score didn't show that, but dude, all throughout the day, you watching him, he was really riding spectacular and didn't look like he was riding on the edge. Most rookies, when they come out, I shouldn't say most, but some rookies, you can tell they're not 100% comfortable just yet. And Seth really did look comfortable. I mean, right out of the gate.
Did you win the first race that you led? Supercross.
Yeah, I think I did. Actually, I think the first one that I
That's why they call him the greatest of all time. Okay.
No. Was Atlanta '97. My first Supercross race was Indy, and I don't believe I led any laps there.
Okay.
But he's good. Yeah, he's been very impressive. Bummer to see Styles Robertson not be able to race the main event. He's been riding very well also. But you go back to Hunter Lawrence on Saturday, the first Dallas round, dude, his ride was pretty impressive there too. And that's why, I mean, my radar went up and I'm like, oh dude, this guy's on. I mean, he kept Hamaker honest the whole race. And he basically looked like he did this past Tuesday, just freaking picture perfect, hitting his marks, doing what he needed to do. He looked like a seasoned veteran to me.
Yeah. And that's the thing about Hunter. He's new to Supercross, but he's not, he's a veteran, if you will. I mean, how many years ago was it that we watched him at Matterley Basin at the Motocross of Nations? I think he went out and won both of the MX2 motos, correct? Or classes, if you will. Like he's been around, and he kind of has taken that route that Chad Reed took of going, okay, Australia, go to Europe for a little bit, and then come here. And it seems like it gives him an opportunity to grow and mature. Little brother Jet obviously just had to follow in the footsteps, but it's pretty cool what those guys are doing. I mean, this last few weeks, where it looked like Justin Cooper, okay, I'm the fastest guy, sets fastest times. He hasn't executed the main events. You got McAdoo, he steps up and he makes some mistakes, but then your podiums have been, Hamaker,
Robertson,
Lawrence, Robertson,
Swole,
Swole.
Peters.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, it's all across the board, right?
And now we have Hunter Lawrence is leading the points.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Came out of nowhere. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I love it.
Let's talk about the not fun stuff. So on the 250, and we'll switch gears. Somebody texted me yesterday, like, dude, you don't like what's up? Well, you don't like McAdoo, huh? I'm like, well, first and foremost, yeah, I respect him, love his story, great guy to talk to. He's a positive influence, looks like, on his teammates, and love listening to his interviews. He's great for the Supercross series. However, just because what I commented about how when he picked his bike up and cut across the track like that, this dude, like, he's like, just because I pointed out what he did wrong and he's not supposed to do that, doesn't mean that I dislike the guy. I'm explaining what is happening and what you're not supposed to do per the rule books.
I was texting Ricky the other night when those things happen. I go, great. Now everybody's going to know it. The AMA is going to look at it. I said, you just cost him more points.
I mean,
it doesn't have anything.
It was plain as day, but you know, Jeff, I mean, you've been in that position. You got to call it.
Dude, you got to like, where was it in the Meadowlands a few years back? Was it Savachi that went down?
Yeah.
In between like a rhythm section.
Yeah.
And instead of getting up and going down to the corner where he needed to go, and he just got up like in the lane next to him. And so he cut off. I mean, in race time, he probably cut off 6 seconds, you know? Yeah, you can't do that. You got to get back up. And hey, did Anderson get a dock for going around the whoops?
I'm not sure. I mean, dude, you and I talked about it off camera, off podcast, but he grabbed a handful of throttle down the straight.
Well, I mean, it happens, and I believe it was the race before in the LCQ where Hartraff and Clayson get together, and Hartraff goes off like where the mechanics area kind of is. He just said, screw it. He grabbed a handful and went. And it's like with the new rules, and this has been, 8 years now, 6 years, maybe, kind of the way that the track rule is, you know, go back in a safe space. These guys get off the track. Bro, I remember a couple of years ago at San Diego when I believe Anderson punted Brayton off, and then there was a rhythm section.
Yeah,
and
he went down.
Jumped back on. Yeah. He jumps back on and just like angles him and takes him out on the next turn. Like, I don't know, you can't do that.
Yeah, that was last year. That was last year in the 450 main, I believe it was. Yeah, and that was the epic battle that AC and Cooper Webb had. Yeah. Remember, AC led for a long time.
Dude, you would have never, especially in your 125 days, you would have never won the championship the way some of the rules were, because you were off the track more than you were on most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. That is a good. There wasn't so many hay bales back then. Especially
there was just boats.
Years.
Hey, our editor, if we can find some footage of when you almost hit the boat. That was Dallas, actually. Irving.
Right. So go to the 450. I know you and I talked about a subject. Let's go back to the Saturday, the first race of the Dallas or Arlington residency. There was some scuffling going on between Jason Anderson and Malcolm Stewart.
And Jason Anderson and everybody.
I want to know what your take is. Everyone, you know what my take is. People heard what my take is. So hit us straight with it. Real talk on Real Talk 447. Where are you at with it?
Well, so when you're riding for a position and you're riding forward, as you can see in Monster Energy Supercross, sometimes you got to go in and take the line away. Barsha executed some pretty good passes this last weekend. I believe the one was on Plessinger. Plessinger came in on somebody before the whoops. You know, boom, you go in and take that line away. Anderson has been really aggressive lately. We know he's always ridden that way. Barsha's always ridden that way. And there's a difference between going in and trying to like slide job somebody and blocking their line and trying to take the line. And when it's close, you have to do that. You know, Ricky and I both agree that if you both go down, then you went too deep. And if you try to block past somebody and you both go down, it means that you really didn't have the line.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
So I don't have a problem with what Anderson, with, his riding and that type of riding in general. I mean, you have to do it. The situation that Ricky and I wanted to focus on is the situation with Malcolm Stewart and Jason Anderson. No, so 1, 2, 3, about 3 laps or 3 turns before that, Anderson goes in, takes the line away from Malcolm Stewart. And if you see, we've got the highlights here. As you come, Malcolm, I didn't realize it at the time, but he quads into that turn, and when he makes the turn, it appears that he grabs a handful and goes straight across the berm. So instead of like sliding up and exiting the turn, making a 180, it's like he makes a 90 and he goes straight across into the back of Anderson. And Malcolm goes down, he goes flying. He's lucky he didn't get hurt because he landed on
he hit hard too.
Yeah. The concrete is not forgiving. And so, there was, Malcolm had his comments, said he tried to square up the turn and messed it up and all that. But Ricky and I, we like to break it down a little bit more. And that's kind of why we started this podcast to begin with, is because we would always sit around during the week and talk about these things. And I think this is a great example of to me, Malcolm's comments don't match up with what I saw on the track as an analyst. So, and what I looked for is as coaches, we always say, okay, where your eyes go is where the motorcycle goes. So I like slow-moed it, and I looked at the slow-mos and ran it back. The whole time, it appears to me that if you look at the direction of his helmet, it was facing Jason Anderson, or the back of his bike. So I don't know, Malcolm, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I don't buy it, dude. It looked like he came in and just tried to like, okay, I'm going to like bump him and take him off his line. So Ricky, your take?
I mean, I thought initially, this is before I had realized that they had been going back and forth, and Anderson made a move by him, pretty aggressive move by him a couple turns before. So you got to remember, I in the moment, I'm thinking, dude, did his throttle just stick right now? Because the way and the ankle that he went, I'm like, there's no way he did this on purpose.
Well, he didn't pivot the bike like 180 or didn't follow the line. It was like he goes in and then just kind of goes straight across.
Yeah, it's like he gets turned, right? He gets to the apex of the corner, and then the thing it's like the bike's wide open. Like, there's no way that he did this on purpose, and that because the outcome, it was completely wrong. If you want retribution on someone else, you're going to make sure, like you and I talk about, that person goes down and you don't go down, because if you both go down or you go down while trying, you've executed poorly.
Do you think that his emotions got the best of him there?
100%. Yeah. So looking back, yeah, he was certainly going for it straight up. And yeah,
he's been riding pretty good this year.
I still watch it and I'm just blown away. Like, dude, there was basically zero attempt to make the corner.
And it reminds me of a situation with you and Kevin Windham.
100%. And I'd be straight up.
Let's see if we can find the photo for this.
Zero intentions of making the corner. My only intentions were to make sure, or at least try to make sure that he would crash.
If there's the greatest photo, I hope we can find it for the edit.
I got it.
Oh, you can send it to me. Yeah. So we'll get it. You can see Ricky's bike is basically underneath of Kevin Windham's chassis.
Dude, I was like a big helium balloon, right? And I went in there. I'm like, dude, I'm punting this guy into next week. He's going to be in the cheap seats eating hot dogs.
This is Vegas
97.
And this is the 125 shootout, right?
Main event. Yep. And it was like, as soon as we collided and made contact and he didn't go down with how hard I hit him, it was just like,
you were done.
I'm done. Oh, it was over at that. I guess I gave up because I knew I wasn't going to beat him.
Dude, he's so good when it's hard, dry, slick, hard pack.
Oh, and those YZ 125s were really good then.
So,
but not as good as those YZs those 125s you won on.
Yeah, mine was good. It was rough in Supercross, and I didn't really get a proper third year, if you will, pointed out too soon. But that's neither here nor there. So back to the riding. This is so the situation with you in Vegas or Malcolm last week, a couple races ago. Explain why that when your emotions get high like that, that's bad for you as a racer. Or do you think it's bad for you as a racer, I guess?
Well, first and foremost, you jeopardize your health and someone else's health. If a move goes bad, you could injure them, you could injure yourself, and it's not a good place to be. And I think at our level, most of us have made moves and done things that we shouldn't have, but at the end of the day, you learn from those. And there's ways to get guys back that you can make your point and get your point across, and there's ways to not do it. And I feel like Malcolm's an incredibly great rider. He's a smart rider, and I feel if he had an opportunity to do that again, taking what he has learned and how that outcome was, he'd change quite a bit of things up.
Yeah. The best way to get back at a guy for slamming you or whatever is just to beat him, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It does feel good though when you're pissed and you take somebody out. Sorry to all you kids out there.
Dude, we don't listen. And one thing we don't want to promote dirty.
I'm joking.
But we're going to critique you. We're going to critique you, and that's what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's that's Supercross. You look at what it is. You've got, there's no roll cages. There's no, bumpers on our bikes and stuff. And I think that's part of what is one of the attractions for the fans. And I think that most people that ride motocross, when they watch Supercross, they have a ton of respect, because it's not like you can get out there and do that easy. I mean, whereas, and I'm going to put this into perspective. I know, the best guys are the best guys in all over, but if you want to drive NASCAR, you can go drive around at, 150 miles an hour at one of the Richard Petty driving schools, whatever. Right. So you can go around the track. It's a flat track. We don't have to, but with Supercross, you can't just go. So let's take like Fontana. Did you ever drive at Fontana?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So a NASCAR would do what speed around there?
200 going into the corners.
Okay. So 200, but if you went and did one of the driving experiences, you're going to do 160?
I honestly, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know.
But it's somewhere in there, right? You're going to go fast, right? We don't do any, arrive and drives with Supercross. There's no riding experience, no Supercross experience, because you can't do it. Yeah. You can't, if you drop down to, I don't know, 80%, 85% speed around a Supercross track, you're not even doing the track.
No.
So it's not, there's no way to like, okay, I'm gonna go drive some laps and pick up speed. You have to be at a level to where either you do it or don't.
Yep.
And anybody that's ridden a motorcycle, dirt bike, you have to have a lot of respect for what these Supercross riders do and the ability to go out and do it and hang it out, and the risk that's involved in what they do to live their dreams and follow their passions of riding Supercross. So I think that's why, over the years with the, you and I have both met a tremendous amount of people in action sports, motorsports, entertainment, or whatever. And the people that get it, they go, okay, these guys, you guys are a different breed, just like, every individual sport kind of has their own thing, so I don't know. I got on a tangent there. Sorry.
No, and you're exactly right. I think moving along, like even you talk about the speed, I appreciate, I think the older I get, I appreciate the mental game. And you take someone like Cooper Webb, for instance, he's clearly got the momentum. It was a heroic, I wouldn't say heroic ride. What did you call it? The ride that he put in, not a championship ride, but dude, I mean, it was.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I messaged him after the race. I'm like, that was such both rides really, but when you talk about the Tuesday night race, to have Tomac, who was clearly flying, Roczen, who's in the points, to have all three guys finally start in one place, and to be up front is not the easiest place to be. Tomac showed him a wheel. It's hard to put into words the pressure that Cooper Webb had to ride under, because Tomac had, I mean, he was already 25 whatever points back. He had, nothing to lose. Webb has everything to lose, and then Roczen's right there watching. So they each had their own individual like mental battle that they had to go through. But for Webb to be up front and to just stay steady, I mean, he didn't make a mistake. When he needed to switch up his line, he knew it, and he made some changes, and he went back and forth between a couple different lines, and Tomac was right there showing him a wheel. The only mistake I think Webb made was on that first lap through the whoops when he got a little forward. Other than that, he executed a perfect main event.
He did. It was really a grade A performance. And to your point, Jeff, and I want to elaborate on that. Yeah, I mean, it is so hard to do that, and to be able to explain that ride that he did and he made is really hard unless you've been in those positions. I'm trying to parallel it so maybe people could understand that have never been in that position. What would be a great way to parallel that ride? I mean, it's so hard to do that. I feel like Roczen was in the best position, being in third, being able to see exactly what Tomac is doing, getting a little glimpse of Cooper Webb and what he was doing. At that level, most of the time guys are able to make the adjustment and catch up. So that just goes to show you, everyone knows how good and talented Ken Roczen is. That just goes to show you the level and the pace of Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac. They just started inching away little by little. And
they, all three of them, you watch some of the turns that they would make. I mean, the bike wasn't even turned yet, and they were on the gas. And Webb has been able to ride some really low lines in the turns again. It seems like that KTM from the Ryan Dungey days, they developed a bike to where they get in and they get it turned, instantly. Tomac was riding.
One thing I want you to watch this week, and I've been starting to follow it pretty closely. You ever see how much or how little Eli Tomac puts his leg out in corners? It's crazy to me, especially right-handers. But I mean, obviously you would have it less. You'd have it more on the rear brake than you would having your leg out. But dude, there's sometimes he never, and even Ken does the same thing. Dude, it's like getting seated in the pocket of the seat and getting your leg out, whether it's a left or a right. These guys don't take their feet off the pegs as much. It's pretty cool actually, and how fast they're able to go in the corners, through the corners, by not taking their feet off the peg. It's pretty impressive. Watch that this weekend.
I will. I'll pay attention to that. Whereas, and then the flip side is in MotoGP in the last 10 years, they got their leg hanging off the side like they're a dirt tracker or something.
Or reverse.
Yeah, right. Hey, so one thing that I've noticed the last two races especially is Webb, when he, on his jump landings, whether it's a rhythm or whatever, he has always got the angle, like the bike, the front and rear tire land at the perfect angle. He very rarely like clips or like hangs up anything. He's always like coming over clean and really like massaging exactly where he wants to plant the bike. You know what I mean?
We call that silky smooth, don't we, Fro?
Silky smooth. Yeah, he's been outstanding. And I mean, last week the performance that the top three put on was pretty exceptional. I know that to me, I was really into the race. There wasn't a lot of action per se, but the intensity was off the charts. It reminded me of Vegas in 2006 between Stewart, you, and Reed. That was for the championships and all that. So a little bit different, but Tomac, I thought, was better through some of those rhythm sections. And let's see, my only my note I had here was for was I wanted to talk about the pit board messages and Daniel made a note of it during the last broadcast. What when you were racing, what did you like to see on the board? Was it just basically lap times?
Just lap times. That's all I wanted to know was lap times. And I wanted to know 5 laps to go, 3 laps to go, 2 laps, that's what I wanted to know.
You never got to pull your head out of your ass pit board?
No, I never got that.
Yeah. When I rode Yamaha, Steve Butler, he had two, it was 2-sided. So one-sided was just permanent marker with that. And then the other side would be whatever was going to be current for that lap. So he pretty much wore out the first one.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. I think that, God, I would really love to see that on the broadcast. I was text Bono, like, give me a camera angle of that. I'd love to see what, like during those times, I'd love to see, boom, you got, you got Carlos Rivera, who's Webb's mechanic. Brian Krantz is
Tomac's mechanic.
And then Ken's mechanic is
Rooster.
Okay. I'd love to see like
cool.
boom, boom, boom. You like how I'm directing from Corona, California?
I love it.
Cool,
man.
Hey, also, I'm not sure if you caught it, but just at the end of the race, end of the broadcast, the leaders would go by. And then I kind of caught this. It looked like this guy had fallen down and it looked like he was pushing his bike. And I go, oh, he pushed his bike over a jump. He's going to he's going to start his bike up and ride. And no. And then Jeff Manhart, the director, they stay on him and he pushes his bike all the way through the rhythm section, around the turn, and then back up over the finish line. The crowd that was still watching, they were cheering him on, and they got a little shot of it on the NBC broadcast. And that was Kevin Morantz. You know what he got? Yeah. You know what he pushed it for? 21st. That was awesome though, man. What an effort. Like, he's like, I'm going to finish this race. I'm going to take the checkered flag. I don't know what happened to his bike, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Good story.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to go ride. Good luck, ride dude. Glen Helen today.
Hey, keep the shiny side up. Okay, dude.
I will try to. Yeah. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California. So, any last words here, or you just want to mention our sponsors?
It's going to be good. I would say that to our listeners, first and foremost, thank you for tuning in and listening. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Send the questions, do all that fun stuff. But remember, this series isn't over yet. Even if Webb is able to sweep Dallas, Arlington, the Arlington residency, because I'm going to tell you why. We're going to Atlanta. It's outdoor open air stadium. It'll be at the Speedway, and then we're going to Salt Lake. Anything can happen. So it's certainly not over.
Six left, right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, we got 6 left. 6 events left. A lot can happen. It's going to be exciting. Everybody make sure to tune in. I think we're going to have a lot of fun stuff to talk about come these Atlanta rounds.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. And thanks to Fox Racing and ODI Grips for supporting us the way they do, and check them out if you're looking for some new products. We'll take you away with the Andrew McKeague Band and This Old Lie. Thanks everybody. See ya.